Good morning. We are well. Thank you so much for this welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, wow. Awesome. Great job. It's a pleasure.
We did an oxygen plant rehabilitation at ELWA Hospital. Can Redemption also use that assistance? Imagine during COVID, a global epidemic that was affecting people's respiratory systems. There was no oxygen production here at one of the major hospitals of the country. We worked over 6 months and we got it done. We got it done with the help of Rotary Club. The AKAs were also part of that donation, the World Lebanese Cultural Union, and of course, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Grant asked the question, what are women's issues in this area that you see? The women who come into the hospital, what's their major sickness? Fibroid surgery.
Yes. Multiple sometimes who have one patient that have breast cancer. Just so different kinds of
You can do the breast cancer surgery yet?
No, just come and assess them and send them.
All right, so we're here with my good friend. I haven't seen her in years, but it's so good to see you.
I'm
First
so
time.
happy to see
I'm
you.
so happy to see you. And you know what's so funny? I've known you for so many years. I knew that you were part of the Zeta Chapter, but girl, you didn't tell me all this. So Frida, she is the one that put this whole thing together, and thank you so much for inviting me to your world.
Thank you.
Thank you for the efforts that you have put into this Liberia chapter. I know you've given a lot to it. Even across the globe, you're still making things happen. So how does it feel to be back? How does it feel to have Dr. Grant here, the brunch, all of the service week? Tell us how you're feeling.
Thank you. I'm feeling a mixture of emotions. I think I'm overwhelmed. It's a homecoming, as you know. I haven't seen you in almost 2 years. And Liberia became home for me in 2016, similar time to when you moved back home. And we used to have our beach Sundays.
I know. Hopefully we'll get one before you get out of here.
I
got some for you. Don't worry.
Because you know, I'm originally from Brooklyn, and for me this morning, what I reflected on is the fact that we have come back home. You know, we've come back home to do something good for. We were both born in Brooklyn.
Yes. Shout out to Collier Hospital,
Kings County Hospital building. But we never forgot where we came from. My father's from Ghana, my mother's from Liberia, and they have a saying in Ghana, Sankofa. Sankofa. So Sankofa, if you were putting it in English, it means to go and bring back. And we've gone back to our ancestors, and I think our Dr. Grant said it best. I'm super happy to have our international president and CEO here with us in Monrovia, Liberia, because we're celebrating 75 years. What I've always envisioned as a member of this sorority is to be able to come back to Liberia. And everything that I do. I work in the healthcare industry here. I worked in the healthcare industry for 6 years. And I mean, when Dr. Grant and her team called to say they wanted to focus on Liberia for our Global Day of Service, which falls on our Founders Day, January 16th, 1920. So every year, January 16th, and they said they wanted to do health. This was a quick turnaround.
Right.
Our international president and CEO is a woman of faith, and truly, you know, at first we heard one goal, and then on the day of, we heard a different goal, and we were all thinking, what is she thinking? But when I tell you, we decided to focus. She mentioned to me that this year's sorority's theme for 2023 is Year of the International Woman. And what better place for her to celebrate that with us? She was here on International Women's Day. We're celebrating 75 years of any NPHC organization, the Divine Nine.
Right.
any NPHC organization being on the continent. And so as we think about that theme of going back and bringing, it's Year of the International Woman, advocating for health justice at home and abroad. We know that in America, our reproductive rights are under attack. And in Liberia, I think we're the 6th or 8th poorest nation in the world.
Yes.
You can't even begin to imagine. We have a state of emergency on rape. We're currently in it. You never know. And so I say all that to say, Royda, I have a lot of respect for you as a woman doing great things here in Liberia. I call her Liberia's Oprah. Because she is. And it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. But you know what? I have to brag about you. You guys don't know this. So, of course, we all know all of us have our war stories, but the Delta Iota Chapter was suspended for many years due to the civil war.
Delta Iota Zeta.
Zeta. See,
Delta Iota Zeta Chapter.
I'm trying.
We know royal blue is her favorite color.
It is. I need to join, like an honorary member or something. Just for the color.
We gotta look into
it. Just for the colors. I was wearing blue. I was like, let me just put jeans on.
Yeah, we went dormant. We went dormant.
And Frida was responsible for getting the chapter back up and running in 2017, correct? You started this journey?
The conversation started in 2017.
And it didn't happen until 2021. So you put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. We appreciate you. I'm sure this wouldn't be happening if you weren't here. And you look beautiful. And I can't wait to see all of you in your royal blue upstairs representing. And we really, really appreciate all the work that you're doing here.
Honestly, thank you.
We need you back, girl.
Oh, I'm coming.
And I'm here with a very special interview, sitting with the international president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Dr. Stadie Grant. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a very special moment.
It is. It is.
So
I'm with Royal Philomena, the media mogul of Africa.
Please. Thank you. But I am so happy that you took a minute to sit with me. I actually got a call from my friend Frida, who is the chapter president here in Liberia, and got to learn a lot about what she's been doing over the years. But this was a monumental moment for her, as well as all these sorority and fraternities here in Liberia. Most of my friends here belong to different fraternities and sororities, and I've seen them all coming here today for the big brunch. But this is a first for you. This is your first time on the continent.
Absolutely. The first time this daughter of Africa has come home. So excited.
And you're here in Liberia, which has some very interesting history with Zeta Phi Beta.
Absolutely. So, as the international president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, it is truly a full circle moment to think that our founders had foresight, January 16, 1920, we're 103 years old, that we'd be able to serve the community in a way that made the places where we exist better. And one of our past presidents had a vision of expanding to the continent, coming back home. So in 1948, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was the first international chapter organizer here on the continent. So out of all the sororities and fraternities, we hold dear to our hearts that we were the first to establish a chapter right here in Monrovia, Liberia, Delta Iota Zeta Chapter. So it is wonderful to celebrate 75 years of our commitment to the motherland and to see the work that Delta Iota Zeta Chapter is doing through Frida Coopson as the current president of the chapter, and all the members that have contributed to how we as an organization make that connection stateside here in Liberia and making sure that we're empowering other women to do amazing things just like you are doing with your network.
Oh, amazing. It's so amazing. And I read a little bit of the history. Dr. Rachel Townsend was the founder of the chapter here. And we're going to actually see some of the founding members, or I think one today at the brunch.
Yes, that's one of the surprises.
Which is amazing. I mean, can you imagine from the inception all the way up to now, she's still here. I heard her voice, and she's so excited to be here. But beyond the brunch, you all have been here on a service project week. And we've been following you all around. I mean, you guys are busy. Busy. And there's so much. I know there's the Africa Center through the CARE project. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, we have multiple projects, and I became international president in July of 2022. Yes. And my theme for this year is the Year of the International Woman,
Wow.
serving and advocating for health justice at home and abroad. And health justice is why, coming out of this COVID crisis,
Yes.
there have been many after effects that everyone has been experiencing here on the continent, back in the States.
Yes.
And as an organization, we have always served in a variety of ways, but through March of Dimes, St. Jude's, all sorts of cancer research, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to really focus on how do we make sure that all of our sisters are okay.
Yeah.
During one of our projects, one of our members, Vicky Buchanan, said side by side, we were talking to the market women and yes, talking about how we could build that economic empowerment and development, and health is our wealth.
Yes.
So we're not healthy, how can we do the things that
Yes.
we do? So we've raised funds from the states to come and contribute to the Liberia Cancer Research Institute, looking at everything that is happening in the public hospitals here. Redemption, we went to visit. We went to the Ana Sadel School where this chapter has contributed all sorts of not only toys for the kids, but chairs for them to learn. It just goes on and on what Delta Iota Zeta Chapter has done here on the continent. I'm so proud of the leadership and the members who are committed to making sure that we contribute to the success of this country and to do the service throughout Monrovia. It is wonderful to see it in person. It's I'm living a dream, representing our all international board of directors, 900 chapters across the globe, 12 countries, and to know that we became international because we started right here in Monrovia, Liberia.
Amazing. And we always talk about this on the show. Health, the health sector in Liberia is something that we need a lot of help in. So we really appreciate you and the members of Zeta Phi Beta for coming and helping boost our health sector. I know my friend Frida.
Close to $100,000 worth.
Well, I'm gonna need a little checkup myself. Come on, you're gonna give me a little freebie in there. But we really, really appreciate your time. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate you taking time. International president, okay? I saw one of my friends, she said, I'm starstruck. I was like, girl, I'm starstruck too.
I'm starstruck with you.
And
thank you for opening up this platform that so many people can connect. And that throughout the diaspora, we know where we started, right here on the continent. And I know that our foremothers and our forefathers are smiling because our ancestors do their best work through us. So thank you for allowing me to be of service and represent the greatest sisterhood on the planet.
Now you heard it first. We're here. So stay tuned with us. We're heading up to the brunch. You're going to want to miss this.
Zeta Phi Beta's got
known as Monrovia, joined Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated on December 19, 1948 as a trailblazing chapter member of Delta Iota Zeta Chapter under the inspirational leadership and recruitment efforts of Dr. A. Doris Banks Henry.